Good afternoon, golfing fans. Welcome back to the channel, proudly sponsored by betting.co.uk. So I'm just back bringing you my golf selections for this week's DP World Tour. I've been a bit quiet with the videos in recent weeks, but I am now going to be back every week bringing you my best selections for the week ahead, starting with now, where we do have the D&D Czech Masters over at PGA National Oaks Golf Course in Prague. Now, this is going to be a really interesting tournament. We've got a brand new course to take a look at. It's really long on paper and quite an interesting course as well with regards to the layout, which I will go on to in a moment. But if you're new to my channel, welcome. I do appreciate you tuning in. I'm an ex-golf tour professional myself. Did okay as a player, but I'm now just using my expertise to try and find you the best selections for the golf tour and the players that are best suited to the golf track every single week. I'll bring you two selections in this episode, but I do have a full four-man squad. And if you're interested in those selections, you can join my Discord group chat with over 500 members using the link in the description below. And I have also put up two long shots just to consider for this week if you like some bigger value. And I'll pop a link in the description below so you can go and check out that article over on betting.co.uk. So we've got the D&D Czech Masters this week at the PGA National Oaks course over in Prague. Plenty long, this one too, 7,592 yards long. A really good setup for such a long course. And even though it's quite long, that's not necessarily the attribute that I'm focused on most this week. What you actually really want is plenty of accuracy off from the fairways, basically, with your approach shots, because despite having big greens at this golf course, when you hit the fairways here, it does actually make the angle of attack quite narrow. So you really do want to find a player that's pretty accurate with their iron play. Usually, I think trajectory is quite an important aspect when I'm trying to find my selections for each week in the golf courses. However, that's not really something that applies this week. You really just want an accurate iron player. And then, of course, you need a good putter as ever. Plenty of tough holes here again, but finding the fairway may seem beneficial, but again, it makes it much harder to hit the greens. And all of these greens are surrounded by bunkers. You've got left to right dog legs, right to left dog legs. But as I said, the main thing is accuracy with those irons. I think they are the players that are going to be best suited effectively to the golf courses on tour this week. Right, I have left them quite late this week. Of course, we are getting just on 8 o'clock now. But I'm going to bring you my two best selections rather quick fire. And then as of next week, I will be bringing you these videos earlier in the week with more detail to the race course, to the golf course, more sort of attributes of what you want for each player. A lot of players in the general tips to round, if you like, will be just looking at stats on paper and then putting those to the golf course. However, those stats are based on very different courses each week. And I will personally, with that bit of playing experience, look for a few more intricate details like your trajectory, your ball flight, because basically it's not necessarily just the ones that hit it miles and the ones that are accurate off the tee, etc., that are going to do best at each golf course. You really do need to find the finer details and take each individual course on the basis of what it is. So selection number one this week is going to be Ryo Hisatsune at 25 to 1. Now, he's a player that I've liked for a very long time now. He actually has a win already on the DP World Tour last year, and he actually won for us at 100 to 1. I tipped him up that week, and he was superb. Now, this is only a 21-year-old at the moment, but he has transitioned since this year to the PGA Tour, and he's got 3 top 10s, and he's made 17 of his 26 cuts, which is a seriously good effort, and he's just a player that's improving round by round for that experience too. So he played last week at the Wyndham Championship, and he actually finished in a tie for third. And again, a performance sort of in the same basis of that with his irons should mean that he get very competitive this week as well. I think the course suits him quite nicely. He's sneaky long off the tee. Again, he's quite a young guy, and he's a bit of a baller off the tee, so plenty long off the tee. But his best attribute is definitely his iron play. I think he seems to play better at courses where you need a little bit of accuracy. Don't get me wrong, you've got quite long shots into these greens sometimes this week, but he is very accurate with his irons, from short irons all the way through to his long irons. And again, I think that's going to suit really well. He generally has a pretty solid short game to go with it as well, so there's not a lot to dislike about his chances at the moment. He's just improving for the experience at the moment. He's now in the top 100 of the world, currently ranked 99. I think he's just going to continue improving on that. And he is going to be my number one selection this week at 25-1. Selection number 2 is going to be Englishman Joe Dean at 50-1. You can get 60-1 elsewhere, but I'm playing with Ladbrokes and 7 places for this week's tournament. And he is another. He's just improving at the moment with the experience. And again, he's finding himself in positions which he hasn't recently and seemingly going really well for it too. He ended up forcing a playoff in the Italian Open with Guido Migliotti and I think it was Marcus Kinholt, if I remember rightly. And again, that was a position he hadn't actually been in before. He played the first playoff hole, played it okay, and then had a few nerves next time, and then hit his second shot in the water on the second playoff hole. But again, it was new territory for him. He has come back and started playing some really good golf since then too. And again, just like Ryo Hisatsune, he's a very good iron player. Plenty long off the tee, so he suits this golf course well. Very reliable with the putts. But again, what I really like about him is he's seriously accurate with his irons. Again, he's quite a high ball flight hitter, so again, doesn't really matter too much here as long as you've got a bit of accuracy. And I think Joe Dean probably suits his course a lot better than most this week too. Now, he's 50-1. You get 60-1 elsewhere, but I think with Ladbrokes, with the 7 places, it's probably worth taking the places over the prices for this week. Okay, so just 2 quick fire selections for you. Ryo Hisatsune at 25-1. Joe Dean at 50-1, but I have 2 further selections for you in my Discord group. Again, there's a link in the description if you want to come over and join us there. There's loads more information on the courses, hole-by-hole guides, a full preview to the event, a bit more detail as to why these selections are my fancies. And again, I've got tour playing experience myself, so I'm trying to put that to good use. And last year went very, very well. We were over 1,000 points profit for the year. Not quite at that level, unfortunately, this year. But I got a really good feeling with these 2, Ryo Hisatsune and Joe Dean in particular, that we're going to be in a big chance with getting some money for this week. So Ryo Hisatsune at 25-1, Joe Dean at 50-1. And if you're interested in a couple of long shots, I'll pop the ones to consider in the description below. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you're able to click the subscribe button, it's completely free. That really does help me out. Thanks for tuning in once again. And as I said, I'll be back earlier next week with some more detailed content for the future.